So, Colin, you want to tell us about what drink you prepared for us this evening?
Yes, I would love to. This is a Clover Club. It's a pretty nice, straightforward cocktail. At its roots, it's more or less just like a gin sour with the addition of raspberry. I like them quite a bit. I made some fresh raspberry simple syrup last week, so it seemed like a good opportunity.
Yeah,
It's very tasty.
it is really good.
3 parts gin, 1 part lemon juice, 1 part raspberry syrup, and 1 part dry vermouth. Egg white.
Okay.
And then shake.
Awesome.
Dry shake or first?
Reverse dry shake is what I did for this one.
I forgot about
Technically.
reverse dry shaking. Dry shaking.
I know.
Get the foam.
So those listening, Colin is our resident liquor snob.
No,
Alcohol
enthusiast. It's just
Alcohol enthusiast. I think
it's a hobby of
we
yours.
could both
Yeah.
fall
I was about to
under.
say,
I think
yeah.
most of us could fall under
Yeah, that's
that
true.
categorization.
Yeah. I will say I think Colin, you have the most fun trying and learning new recipes. Ben probably too.
That's
But
probably true.
That's what I'm saying. Like cocktail wise, I think Colin is probably the most.
I'd say that's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
It's made with Roku gin, which is a Japanese gin. So it's less juniper forward, a little bit more floral and herbaceous.
A little bit more citrusy as well.
Yeah, so it works quite nicely in this cocktail. Technically, it's a little different than what a normal Clover Club would be,
Yeah,
but
it's
I
good.
think it works.
Yeah, it's really good. It's great.
Thanks for joining us on the Cocktail Hour.
Yes.
It's been NPR.
All right, and that's the episode. A little background context. We're coming out of a session 0 where each player kind of played a slice of life of a day or a few days leading into the start of this campaign. So the one we've come to is all 3 of these characters have kind of found themselves standing in the basically the main common room of the Chattering Parrot Tavern. So real quickly, I think we should all go around. Not all of us, because I'm the DM, but I think everyone should go around and say your name, and then maybe say the name of your character, what class you are, and maybe just a little bit about their personality. Let's start with our cleric.
Okay. I'm Landon playing Celty, the Twilight Domain cleric. I think she's about 60 years old. Yeah, 62. And she's a Asmar. I'll let you find out later what type of Asmar. But she works at the Chattering Parrot and really no nonsense, keeps to herself, lives way outside of town, enjoys the long hike into town when she doesn't have to talk to people.
Yeah, she appreciates her solitude. And remind me, Asmars, they age slower than your typical human, right?
Yeah, if I remember right, and the listeners can correct us if we're wrong, if we ever get listeners. I think the average age for, like, the kind of ceiling for Asmar age is around, like, the high hundreds to low 200s.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
I think it's just under some of the other
I thought it was like
non-human race.
180 or so.
Yeah,
or
I think
something.
180 is like a ripe old age for an Asmar.
Okay. Celty, does she appear 62-ish, or does or does she look more like under 40? So she looks older.
I would say she
the
looks, mileage has definitely been rougher mileage on her. Than,
she looks like she's lived a life. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Colin.
Yeah, that's me. My name is Colin. I am playing Varus Leodin, Circle of Dreams druid. He is an elf, and he has a very elven demeanor, to put it nicely.
He's a little stuck up.
He's a little stuck up. He's trying.
Sheltered?
He's trying. He's really trying. He's not very good at it yet.
Next, Benjamin. Ben. He prefers Ben.
I'm Ben. I'm gonna be playing Canaris, which is he's a blue dragonborn. barbarian. Yeah, I guess I should include that part. He likes to hit stuff, but secretly really hates hitting stuff. And he likes to pretend that he's smart and is constantly trying to become smarter, but he's not actually that smart. And he has a set of broken glasses that are very obviously broken that he likes to wear to pretend to push the facade of being smart.
Celty, you make your coin, like you said, working in the Chattering Parrot Tavern. And what's just happened, Celty, is you have seen a rarity in Port Mara, the city which in you reside. You've seen a dragonborn just walk in to the tavern, blue scaled, wearing kind of just some hides and leathers, kind of just like a simple tunic kind of look to him. And then just outside, we have Varus, who just literally fresh off the boat in here in Port Mara, coming from another continent called Peturia. You've had strange visions and dreams, and in those visions and dreams, you saw a dragonborn, which you'd never actually seen before in your life.
It's true.
And so you're walking off the plank, down the plank of the ship you were on, and you see this blue dragonborn walking down the street, and so you decide to follow. So that's where we are. Kane, you just walk into this Chattering Parrot because you heard there's an opportunity for some coin there as a guide, because this is a explorers guild hall. You just walk in, and this older gentleman with a big bald on top but a big white handlebar mustache goes, "My word, is that a dragonborn?" So what would you all like to do?
Remind me, that's Professor
Fellows.
Fellows. Okay.
Professor Fellows.
I was about to say, I know walking in. First, I'd like to say that the sign is still crap.
It's a great sign.
It is delightful. Sure.
Thank you.
It was a parrot wearing a tricorn hat.
It is very quaint.
But I would like to go ahead and walk up to the bar and grab a seat and grab a drink.
Okay. Yeah, you walk up, and you see this massive Goliath behind the bar, and he just kind of looks you up and down. He goes, what can I do you for?"
I think we'll go with an ale today.
An ale, you got a preference? Peturian, Carhadian?
Stiff.
All right, Carhadian it is. And he puts this, and he puts it in front of you. And it's not exactly an ale, more of like a stout, true stout beer. And it's coffee black. But he slides in front of you, and you take a sip, and it's not bad, actually.
Right.
It has this kind of aroma to it as well that you've never smelled before, but it's this rich, you, Ben, know it. It has a coffee smell and taste to it, but Kane has never had coffee before.
Right.
So it's a very new sensation. That will cost you 1 silver.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so you're going to sit there and enjoy it.
And
Enjoy
then
your ale.
also,
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and ask him where the job listings would be posted as well.
He kind of points to a wall behind you, and you actually see on this wall, you can see it's basically a notice board. And you see where on this notice board, there's probably been hundreds of things posted. But right now, there's actually only 2 items listed. And those are the available jobs currently that someone might be interested in taking. So I'm assuming you might want to stroll over and glance over them.
Yeah, I'll just glance at them while sipping on the beer.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll tell you what they say in here in a second. But I want to know, Celty, you've seen this Dragonborn walk in. What are you doing? You were, I think, sweeping the floor.
Yeah.
Doing just some general kind of tidying of the tavern. Is there anything you want to do now that you've seen a Dragonborn for probably only the 2nd or 3rd time in your life?
She probably just kind of watches the Dragonborn a little bit, and when Professor Fellows is like, "Yeah, looks like it."
Yeah.
Yeah. Tails, scales. Wait, I forgot. Tails in
Tails, yeah, tail.
Okay.
Unless he's cut it off, he has a tail.
Tails, scales, and automobiles.
It's kind of swishing. You see him pick up this beer, and he walks over to the notice board where different members of the Seekers Guild, or frankly even just towns members, post work they're looking to have done, because the Chattering Parrot is kind of where travelers will come through to have a drink.
Kind of the first stop off the boat.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah, people looking for coin know to come to the Chattering Parrot. And so while it's going on, you see that this Dragonborn, he carries himself not in so much an arrogant way as more of a very, I'm going to use the word subtle confidence, more like he's self-assured in himself, but you do notice that he is very aware, though, of those around him. But he's doing everything he can, though, to kind of try to make it obvious that he's trying to seem as comfortable and at ease in this environment as he can.
Act like he belongs.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I would probably just go back up to fellows and you need a refill? Anything? More bacon? Burnt?
Salty, my dear. And he'll kind of grab your forearm and kind of shake it. He goes, "Why don't you go get me 2 of those ales that that Dragonborn is having, and then invite him to come join me here at my table." Okay. And he'll put a gold in your palm for helping him out with this, and you can tell that behind those eyes, Fellows is kind of the bumbling professor type. You can tell right now behind those eyes, there's something churning in his head.
What the little halfling fellow that just came in?
No, my word, Salty. No, the Dragonborn.
Oh yeah, we don't
Blue
see
scales.
We don't see many of them around here, do we?
My word, woman, what is wrong with you?
What's wrong with me? What's wrong with you?
Just please.
Two ales coming up.
All right. Thank you. But be a little subtle about it. Don't be yourself.
Remind me, what's my coworker, the Goliath's name?
Orton.
What the blue one ordered?
Oh, he had some Carhardian stout.
Yeah, 2 of those.
Oh, all right. And he puts them up and puts the tankards on the bar.
I was about to say, hearing this, I am definitely turning while still taking a sip, and I have my crooked glasses on because I was trying to read the board. It's like, huh?
Real quick, Kane, roll me a perception check.
All right. Sorry about the noise, Mike. Oh, shit.
First official roll of the actual campaign.
You said perception?
Yeah.
That'd be a solid 5.
5. Yeah, you just see the Goliath pouring him, and you kind of see other people, but you don't notice anything out of place. So all this kind of stuff
is one eye
Fuzzy.
one of the eyes is blown out huge, and that's in the one lens that's actually intact. The other cracked lens, it looks kind of
Oh
normal.
god, so they're Coke bottle lenses?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. You have Coke bottle lenses.
Nice.
That reminds me, Celty has one gold eye, and one's actually kind of scarred and milky, kind of half clouded.
Half clouded. Okay, gotcha.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, she'll just go up and grab the ales and.
While this first kind of initial stuff is happening, I'll say this is probably in a minute or two. I do want to know, Varus, you're outside. You've just seen the Dragonborn walk in. You heard this exclamation. What would you like to do in the kind of these few moments?
I have to think of the order of this. I would certainly want to walk in. I imagine, though, Varus would certainly look down at his... He'd look down at his clothes.
Yeah.
It was a long ship ride.
Yeah, they're a little
worse for wear.
Stiff from the salt air and salt water.
Not great by his standards.
Yeah.
So I would definitely cast Prestidigitation.
Okay.
And clean myself up.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily fix a little bit of the wear on them, but they certainly look like they've been washed now. So yeah. So and you kind of think to yourself, growing up, threadbare clothes, tattered, anything, a thread being nicked, and that garment would be removed immediately from the wardrobe.
Yes.
So for you, you still feel a little underdressed, even though if not being you, but the rest of you, are you going to walk in, Varus?
Yeah, I would.
You all see a very dashingly well put together high elf man stroll into the bar just a moment after the Dragonborn does. And what would you like to do, Var? So I'd say at this point, it's probably right after, but by the time you walk in, it's probably right after Celty is picking up these 2 ales off the bar.
Okay. I would look around and Varus wants a drink. It's been a long, it was 2 months?
2 months at sea.
2 months, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna...
To be precise, it's about a 63-day voyage.
Very precise.
Guys, I have so much shit figured out.
Very precise.
This is what I think about.
He is God, essentially.
This is what I think about on my drive to and from work.
Fair. Yeah, I'll walk up to the bar and excuse me, do you have any wine?
And this Goliath turns to you, Orton. He says, You want wine? Yeah, Celty just a little bit ago brought back up some Corwinish red ale or wine, whatever it's called. Yeah, we have red wine from Corwin and Peturia. You know, the other continent.
Yes.
Yeah, we have some of that.
Do you have anything from Engvarn?
Hey, Celty.
Yeah.
Did you see anything from Engvarn down in the cellar when you're down there earlier?
Did I see anything from Ingvarn when I was down?
Yeah, you saw a case of some wine from Engvarn. Yeah.
Do I know anything about this one? Like, is it like really nice?
Roll a
Is it,
history check.
What's nasty?
18.
18. Hold on, let me look up my notes real quick.
Way to show me up there with my solid 5.
Yeah, you happen to know that the wine that you guys do have down there is actually from a vineyard that actually is in the shadow of the Dragonspire mountain in Engvarn, and it is a delectable Riesling.
Okay. So a little sweet wine.
Yeah, very pretty sweet. It is something that typically your boss will recommend to customers who are maybe having a roasted chicken or a salmon. It kind of goes well with those dishes that she prepares.
I love that you have actual wine pairings in these notes.
Dude.
And they're the correct ones, too.
You got it.
Dude, I think about these stuff too much. Anyways, my wife can tell you. Sometimes I'm like, what would you think of? Yeah, and she's like, Brennan, who cares? I'm just like, I care.
I was about to say, as a bar manager, I appreciate it.
Yeah. So there's a Riesling down there from, and they actually call it the Dragon Vine vineyard.
And you asked for, what was it?
Engvarn. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe we have one vintage. Dragon Vine.
Oh, Dragonvine.
Splendid. Yeah. Would you like a meal to go with that? It pairs quite nicely with chicken and some of our other dishes, house specials.
This sounds delightful. This is just like
It's like for the
Christmas
first
from
time
home.
for the first time since leaving home, you think, my God, there is culture on this strange new continent.
Yes, please. I wipe away a single tear.
Can I insight check to see how gullible, like how much of a rube is this guy? Like,
Yeah. I'll say, yeah, that would be an insight check. Yeah.
21.
Yeah. So as he's talking to you and gesturing to you, his hands, not a single callus on those bad boys. You notice every hair has been placed exactly just so. And I would say with that, you notice that his clothes probably magically cleaned.
Okay.
Recently.
Okay.
He's soft.
How much would we normally, so the chicken, is that what you would like?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the for roast chicken is just 1 silver.
Right.
For the glass of wine though, it is 6 silver because it is shipped.
It's nice stuff.
Yeah, it's nice stuff and it's shipped. It's not made in Ubiquitous. I mean, it's shipped from another continent.
Right, it's an import.
So, yeah.
And for the bottle?
For the bottle, you're looking at 2 gold.
Okay. Glass or bottle, sir?
Ooh.
And Celty is, having sized him up, is very much gone into her, like, not how she treats the regulars, but, like, very much, like, faux perfect customer service. Like,
Oh, yeah. You found a mark.
Tell me real quick, Colin, Varus. Headspace for Varus. He's just come off the boat. Doesn't know where he's going to sleep tonight.
It sure doesn't.
First thing he's heard of that sounds like home in months.
Yeah. No.
I think that he's a little susceptible to this kindness, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Then, Celty, roll me a persuasion check.
Absolutely.
Nat 20.
Natural 20. Varus, this sounds like the best deal.
It is time to splurge.
I do believe the vintage we have is quite rare. For the meal and the bottle, you're looking at 3.5 gold.
That seems quite reasonable.
Not even gonna try and insight that shit.
No, Varus has no
Alright,
clue. He's
yeah.
like, yeah, that's
Alright.
probably right.
Certainly, sir. I will make sure we have a few years, but I will pick the finest. I can tell you're a man of culture. Is there anything else I can get you?
You are a delight. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, sir. I take pride in my work, and if there's anything at all I can get you, don't hesitate to ask.
I hand her 4 gold.
Oh,
well, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Dying inside.
All right, so I'm assuming, Celty, that you're gonna pocket that extra coin.
Yeah, anything that's left over, I am.
Okay.
That is a tip for self.
I'm just gonna say pocket 2 gold.
Okay.
Just make it easier so you're not working with
Sure,
we're not working with
yeah.
silvers and stuff. But so you pocket 2 gold. As you're walking back to give this fine gentleman's order to Kethind so she can begin cooking it, Kethind, your boss, Fellows grabs you by the arm as you're going by. He goes, Salty, where's that ale? I must make in with this dragonborn.
Oh,
You're there making eyes at this elven fellow.
and I grab his shoulder. What do you mean making eyes?
I don't know, you seem to be very flirtatious, which is very odd for you.
I find that pressure point, and I'm like,
And you just
I
hear him
don't
go,
make eyes
you
with
just,
anybody.
and as you do that, you just hear this, ow, 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 okay, fine.
I've got your ales coming up.
All right, please, make it snappy. I need this dragonborn.
So as I leave him, I look back to Varus. Varus, right? Not Varus.
Yeah.
Or is it Varus or Varus?
I don't remember what we said last time. Varus works.
Okay. I look back at Varus and I kind of do a very polite nod and scurry off. I go ahead and grab.
And I will say,
Fellows
Varus,
ale.
as she's walking off, you do see that this gentleman, bald, older gentleman, human man, with this big, white, bushy, handlebar mustache, wearing probably, after you, the most nicely dressed fellow in the room. You see as she's walking away, he kind of does this thing where he rotates his shoulder cuff. And he's like, ow, ooh.
So I go back, grab the ale. Hey, Scaly boy.
Eh?
Yeah, you.
What?
Free drink. Thank the mustache. And then I scurry off.
And Kane, what you see is that you turn around and you see this ale sitting on a table with this older gentleman. You see him scoop up another one of these tankards, and he kind of looks at you and gives you this big wink, and sort of not so subtly, kind of gives you this head nod, for you to come over and join him. Kind of like a, hey man, come here.
How much of this looks like he's having a seizure through my Coke bottle lens on my glasses?
It doesn't. It looks more like he has an oversized head. Through.
You know, that's fair.
Yeah. So, but he motions for you to come and join him at his table.
I put 5 silver in Orton's hands. Just watching out.
And he
for
kind
the
of
guy.
sees it, and Orton's like,
A tip from the elf fellow.
okay, well, we'll just keep his drinks coming all night then, I guess. This is fantastic.
That's the plan.
It's more than we normally make in a week, Celty. It's fantastic. All right. Great, fantastic. Okay, and you see Orton kind of hops to a little bit more, and he's kind of polishing that countertop a little more enthusiastically now. But so Kane, while all this other stuff was going on before you're called over, you do notice that the 2 things posted on the notice board. Mm-hmm. The first one is from just a local villager, and it is basically stating that people in Port Mara are getting attacked at night as they try to traverse home. It's some kind of beast from the sky is swooping down and attacking people. No one has been killed yet, but there have been some serious injuries, a lot of horrible abrasions, some broken bones, but it's kind of setting everyone on edge is what you're picking up from this post. And you've even now, as you're now you have this knowledge in your head, you are hearing that there's some mutterings kind of talking about, these night stalker beasts. And it's basically saying if anyone at all is willing to take care of this, that this person's willing to pay 100 gold for this problem to be taken care of. And the person that is in the post is signed Simone Weathersby. And you see this kind of symbol after it that you can't really make out, some kind of glyph after her name. But it just says Simone Weathersby is the one who has posted this.
Okay.
And it says, if you're interested, please come to the Mage and Residence's tower within Port Mara. Which, for you, Make a history check at disadvantage. It's just to see if the term mage in residence means anything to Kane.
Well, that's not a good start. That's a really bad start. Yes, let's see. History. Or -1. So, 1.
Okay, yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, the term on that one that says mage in residence means nothing to you.
Cool.
The other notice pretty much talks of that there are rumors of some of the woods immediately outside of Port Mara, different than the woods that you live in, Salty. A different set of woods. That there are rumors of current hauntings in the wood by some sort of spirit calling itself a king. And this person is willing to pay 50 to 75 gold for anyone who is daring enough to go and challenge this king in the woods. Some people
Just to challenge it?
just to challenge it and see what it's about and kind of find out what's going on in the woods. Some people have been chased out of the woods. One or two have gone missing, but other than that, like, it seems to maybe just be some kind of like urban legend. But they're like, hey, kind of curious if anyone's willing to get down to the bottom of this and just kind of go check out the woods and see what's going on there.
Cool.
So those are the two notices up on the board right now.
So that's more like an investigation kind of.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, just kind of an exploratory kind of figuring out, if there's any credence to those rumors.
So show up, get slapped a little bit by a ghost, run away, report on it, get paid. Got it.
Yeah, sure.
Probably. For a barbarian? Yeah.
So that's what we read, but now you've been motioned over to this table. Do you join this older gentleman who seems very keen to speak with you?
Yeah, absolutely. I will walk over, down the rest of the one I'm working on,
Okay.
and then immediately just quick swap the mugs,
Yeah.
put the empty one on the table, pick up the other one, but I will not sit down.
Okay. And as you're standing there, Professor Fellows kind of like motions, like he kind of holds out his hand to the chair across from him, kind of like, please, my friend, sit, do sit.
I flick up my tail and I just kind of point at it and go, It's a little uncomfortable.
He goes, oh, I'm terrible. I did not mean to offend, good sir. I did not mean to offend.
None taken.
Where do you hail from?
And I immediately sit down in the chair. Just here, there, nowhere in particular. Just one of the Verzen around here.
Oh, so you are from the society, the Verzen Society.
Yes.
Interesting. Do you make your way into the Silvery Slopes often?
On occasion, I think, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
you have. Yeah, that's one of the places that you do.
That's where I
lead
just came from, right?
You went around the Silvery
Okay,
Slopes,
yeah.
but you have led expeditions
Okay.
through it or into it looking for resources
Gotcha.
before.
Yeah, I'm vaguely familiar. Been through there a couple times. I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but
He kind of looks you up and down. He's like, you can tell he's kind of evaluating you. He goes, what would you say to joining me on a little expedition I'm planning into the Silvery Slopes?
I would say I need a little bit more information than just I'm doing an expedition.
Oh, right. Of course. I have it on good authority as part of my research of your people, your culture, that there is an old monastery to this Platinum Dragon Bahamut, secretly located within the Silvery Slopes. I mean to go there and see what's there, and if there's any things of historical or archaeological value, bring them back and study them, research it. I just want to find the temple and study what's there.
So you're wanting to steal the artifacts out of there and bring them home so you can look at them and keep them in your house.
When you... My word, good sir. Theft? Why, they've been sitting there for
I'm
potentially
kidding.
millennia.
I don't actually care if you do or not. I'm completely messing with you.
Are you interested at all?
Does any of this seem weird? Aside from the fact that he's a random dude wanting to dig through.
Yeah, I mean, are you wanting to know more like what he like is what he's presenting as factual seem unlikely, or is it more like him as a person?
Him as a person, does he seem kind of shifty in this
Roll
situation?
an insight check.
All right. Okay. White dice, you did not like me last time. Oh, God.
Also, as a
9.
point of order, can I hear all of this conversation?
Roll a perception check.
Cool.
And tell me what your passive perception is.
Okay. Passive is 15.
This is the strangest.
Rolled is way worse.
This is the strangest pickup line I've ever heard.
I would assume that you, yeah, you hear it because you wouldn't be far. I mean, this is not a large tavern space, so yeah, I'd say you're probably at least catching bits and pieces. You hear something about monastery, Silver Slopes. You pick up on that.
Definitely just kind of keeping tabs.
Yeah. Oh, and you're
listening.
following him, so yeah. And what would you roll on that?
A 9.
A 9. He seems very enthusiastic about this temple.
So just the standard fare of people that are kind of wanting to learn more about the area.
Yeah, pretty much that kind of thing. Not, he doesn't seem like he has any kind of nefarious intentions to you. He seems maybe a little overzealous, but excitable maybe, but not like shifty in any way. Okay. And he says, if you agree to go on this expedition, I plan on taking off in 2 weeks. I'm still trying to find some others to join my group. Right now it's just you and me. But if we go, there's 200 gold in it for you.
I'm assuming provisions are paid for as well?
Absolutely.
Okay. How many people are we planning on... How many people are you ideally wanting to depart on this expedition with?
Well, that's an excellent point. I am waiting for my assistant, who is on their way. Coming from out of town, they're currently in Leet, gathering some supplies and that sort of thing. However, I would like to find maybe 2 or 3 others to help just kind of round out the group and find some people who might have some expertise and help, frankly, keep me alive from any beasts in the mountains.
I mean, I imagine that Goliath, if you give him 200 gold, will carry you there.
You mean Orton?
I don't know.
And he kind of turns. You kind of see he looks over. He goes, Orton, do tell me, would you like to go on an expedition into the Silvery Slopes with me? And you guys see Orton's face just kind of like drops. He goes, oh well, I love the idea of an expedition, but he's kind of starts stammering a little bit. He goes, Orton is a big fraidy cat.
I lean over with my Coke bottle lens, just that side of my face sticking out from behind the old guy, and I just go, he says there's 200 gold for it.
And Orton goes, oh, well, that is something. And he kind of looks at you, and he kind of like points his head towards the kitchen. He goes, oh yes, coming, Catherine. And he kind of just ducks away into the kitchen.
I just lean back. Point proven. Got it.
And Celty, Orton loves hearing the stories of these expeditions and loves it when adventurers come. And there's a part of him that desperately wants that for himself. But that he's an agoraphobe. He hardly ever actually leaves the tavern.
Yep. Oh, that's sad.
Poor guy.
He's a gentle giant.
Does he have like a little cot behind the bar or something that he just
stays in a room.
I just picture this giant Goliath with like a teddy bear, a nightcap, and a blanket.
Pretty much. He's pretty much that kind of guy. Where he sleeps, even because this, even though Orton, he's also not the sharpest tool in the drawer, but you actually know that where Orton sleeps was once a spare pantry that Kethin just emptied out and put a bed in there for him. So for Goliath, pretty tight.
So a little Harry Potter action.
Yeah, I mean, he's 8 feet tall and he's sleeping in a pantry. Yeah.
Does he like vampire stand up and sleep?
He curls up in a tight little ball on a small bed.
My back's hurting.
Guys, we're getting way into much about Orton right now. I mean, he's a great character. But yeah, so that's offered to you, and it leaves in 2 weeks. So.
Okay. Are we expecting any dangers aside from, mountain passes and falling?
I certainly hope not. I mean, you never know what kind of beasts lurk in the mountains, but I'm hoping that it's a pretty uneventful journey there. We find some interesting ruins. We maybe find a couple artifacts that are worth studying further, and then we pop back in a couple weeks.
All right. Well, if you're not expecting anything dangerous, that means you have not done your research. Because it's the mountains. Mountains have bad things. That's why I've been on these expeditions.
Well, then I am certainly glad that I'm hiring you.
Fair point. You know what? I can't argue with that logic. Fair enough. What is your name, sir? At least I can thank you for the ale.
The name is Professor Fellows. You can just call me Fellows, though, if you like.
So your first name's Professor?
Well, no, it's Hiram, if you must know.
Oh, okay.
However, I'm a tenured professor, and so I prefer Professor or Professor Fellows.
Oh, okay. I'm a bit of a professor myself. Push up the glasses.
And he looks at you and he goes, quite. and he takes a drink from his tankard, and you see kind of like grimaces and his lips kind of pucker at it, and he goes, and he kind of looks at Celty and he goes, more wine, please, dear. Thank you.
And while he's doing that, I just flick my tongue out and just like lick the top of it. Just...
You see this look of fascination. He goes, how far can you do that? And he holds up his tankard, like, and it's about 4 feet away from you. He's like, I mean, can you do that? Can you get your tongue 4 feet?
I just wink and I just take a big swig of mine.
And he just goes, fascinated.
I both love and hate this guy.
So I'm assuming at this point I'm kind of like coming back up the cellar.
Yeah.
I definitely took a little piece of charcoal and like etched in a better vintage number on the bottle.
Okay.
And I do like the sommelier, like, how does this look, sir?
And it's a little dusty, but it's not been opened. The vintage that's written on there looks like it should be pretty good. Roll a perception investigation. Make it an investigation. Yeah.
Also, would I've noticed him at any point?
Absolutely.
Okay.
12.
You would have noticed the very well-to-do elf in the room. What?
12.
12? Yeah, it looks like a great vintage.
A fine year.
Well, I hope it is to your liking, sir.
Thank you very much.
Revision on my earlier question.
Yeah.
Would I have noticed that he has taken an interest in me?
I don't think so. The reason why you would have noticed him is that you're in a tavern that you know to be one that is frequent. It's a guild hall for a seeker's guild, an explorer's guild, and he is not dressed like someone who goes outside much.
It's fair.
Some might say he's a little pale.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So like us.
I've been at sea for 2 months.
Yeah.
It's a little
He
better.
does have some sun, but just the way he
better.
carries himself and is behaving, it does not seem like someone who has ever roughed it in the great outdoors.
And the proprietor is
Kethend, yes, and she is a lizard folk, green with some like yellow and orange like marbling along her spine.
Let me go check on your chicken dinner, sir.
Please, thank you very much.
Keth, is that Keth, is that like I walk back up to the window.
Yeah.
Keth, is that chicken ready?
And she goes, it's almost ready, Celty. Tell the little elf boy that good chicken cannot be rushed. And she kind of just turns around and goes back to her cooking.
Okay, shouldn't be a problem. Just let me know when it's ready. Give me a...
Yeah, I always tell you, dear.
Okay. So I go back and almost ready. The chef is putting their final flourishes on the dish.
And as you're sitting there enjoying this wine, Varus and Celty, as you're going back through, you guys do hear some of the explorers and townsfolk who have started to kind of come in the later afternoon that are starting to kind of gather up, get their drinks, speak. You guys are starting to hear them talk about, the spirit or this king of the spirits that's living in the woods, and how, one guy's like, there is no way there's actually some king of the ghosts living in the woods out there. There's no way. And you hear another guy go like, my uncle Dave swore he saw it out there sometime. Like, he swears by it. And another guy goes, oh, like hell. You hear this other group of men who are saying, I don't know, I'm starting to just, probably need to get going home before the sun sets. I mean, with these beasts out at night, it's not worth risking being on the streets that late. And some of the other men kind of nod in agreement and drink deeply from their glasses and are like, you're damn right about that. It's not worth it. You gotta get home early. I mean, after this drink, I'm gone. And so you guys are hearing some of those kind of murmurings going on and about.
have you drank your tankard and his tankard?
I was about to say, I've definitely started working on his since
Okay.
he's gotten
At that
wine
point,
at
I
this
bring
point.
up whatever I assume Fellows' wine of choice is, and another
And I'll say
tankard.
it's been a couple minutes now, and as you're walking up, and you will hear this, because Fellows is in no way being quiet. He goes, "Now, my good dragonborn friend, before I fully hire you on this expedition, I need you to, let's say, have a proof of concept. I need you to prove that you're actually capable. I mean, we're talking about my life here that you're going to be guiding and protecting. What do you say you take care of one of those issues on the notice board here, and if you're successful, the job is yours."
Can I mean, I was going to do that anyway, so can I just be kind of lazy with it right now and show you what I can do?
Well, anyone can do an act. I really want to see some actual results.
Hey, barkeep, is there anything I can break in here?
Orton is not back in the room.
In that case, I'm now directing it at Salty.
Don't fucking touch anything.
Not going to. Anything not valuable?
You can break anything of yours.
Alright, in that case, I just chuck the ale, the empty tankard through the air, and I just lightning breath it.
Okay. Yeah, and you kind of send it like kind of careening off to the side, and Fellows kind of sees he goes, yes, everyone knows about your dragonborn breath. Yes, it's very, very nice. Okay, I'm talking about actual results. If I'm paying you 200 gold, I need to know that my investment is sound. And you can see now where his success and his shrewdness, maybe as a businessman, is coming out. Whereas he's fascinated to listen to you just talk generally about your culture, but if he's gonna pay you on this expedition, you get the sense that you probably gotta actually like nut up. Yeah.
Let's just say I was just stacking my resume.
That is fair. Now, which of those two tasks do you think you're going to take?
Oh, I'm gonna take a stab at both of them. I got 2 weeks, man.
By all means. Although, I will say both seem a little difficult to take on by yourself.
Is there any room for volunteers?
I immediately swing around, taking a swig going, with like just a what the hell
Yeah.
face going.
And you see Fellows kind of, and he goes, "You mean on the expedition?"
In both cases, I suppose.
And he kind of looks over and goes, "You don't strike me as the adventuring type, good sir."
Consider me a scholar.
Well, then that I can appreciate. There's certainly room if you're interested in going. Are you looking for work to be hired?
Preferably. I find my coin purse a bit lighter than normal these days.
Well, I will tell you what I just told my good dragonborn friend here. His name is Canar. Yes, Canar. If you're able to, complete at least one of the tasks on that notice board, then by all means you're hired on my expedition.
Now, must we complete one task individually, or can we work together on such a task?
I would hope to see your teamwork and evidence in your success. I mean, if you're going to be working for me together, well, I'd want to see that in action, as it were.
Are you sitting at their table at this point?
I would say that, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think Varus would sit down, like, very, like, inserting himself. in the
Probably
situation.
so, yeah. He's like, yes, you're welcome, I'm here. Maybe not that overt about it, but
Yeah.
in that direction.
Yeah.
Salty just brings up, again, so Fellows' wine, another tankard for you, and I'm assuming the dinner's
Yeah.
ready
it's
at this point.
Yeah.
And then your dinner. Can I get you gentlemen anything else?
No, Celty, that'll be off with you, girl. Off.
Also, that tankard's going on your tab. You're hiring him, it's under your tab.
I just kind of shrugged.
Fair enough, Celty, but really, I'm discussing with my my soon-to-be business partners here. So if you could please just go back to sweeping or whatever it is you do here.
Certainly. And I, go grab a broom and I start sweeping up a dust cloud around Professor Fellows.
And he kind of just glares at you, and he says,
And I just have the biggest shit-eating grin on my face.
Classic.
Fellows just kind of tries to ignore, and he goes, "Now, gentlemen, which one of those tasks will you face first?"
Well, first off, Kane, by the way.
Varus, it's a delight to meet you.
Pleasure, I think. Where the hell are you from?
Oh, I am from Engvarn. Envar, if you must be specific.
Why are you here? That is far from. Do I even know what that is?
I'd say that you would have heard of Angvarn, and you know it's the nation of elves on the continent of Peturia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why are you so far from home?
Well, truthfully, I am here as a scholar. I seek knowledge. I seek a few stories here and there, but I come as a scholar and perhaps an adventurer.
Are you, as in the grave robbing, is this fellow?
Well,
It is the ruins of a monastery, good sir.
Ruins are just a graveyard for buildings.
Salty, as you're kind of anger sweeping near the table.
I didn't put that much effort into it.
I know. But as you decide to finally like,
I am eavesdropping the hell out of this conversation.
as you finally decide to like move on and whatever, you kind of look up for a moment and your vision tunnels. Darkness fills everything except you see these two soft orange glowing beams breaking out of a veil billowing above this dragonborn and this high elf, and you see this light, orange and warm, kind of reminding you of a summer sunset, bathing these two in light.
She swept too hard.
And as you look at it, suddenly that light disappears and everything's back to normal. You guys didn't experience anything.
So was everything else kind of like grayed out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very much so.
I like shift the broom to another hand, kind of steady myself, like rummage through my hip pocket, pull out my flask, like look in it, smell it, like, taste it. It's like, what the fuck did I eat? And like, would I recognize this? Like,
You recognize
at this point,
you recognize the veil.
okay. Yeah. Okay. Like, I'm pretty sure.
You've never experienced something so profound before.
like strong.
Yeah.
In that symbolism or
And
whatever.
you suddenly feel almost like in your gut. And it's hard to describe it, but you almost feel a tether to these two men sitting at this table.
Just under my breath, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
We're special.
So yeah, I'll just keep kind of eavesdropping for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just wait on their
Yeah.
table.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. Yeah. So back to your all's conversation.
I will real quick. I will like after a couple minutes like go back over to. Would Orton be back at the bar at this point?
Yeah. By now he's back out there.
I'll just be like, Orton.
Yeah.
A few minutes ago, you didn't see any funny lights or anything, did you?
Did Simone come in here and cast dancing lights around me again?
No.
You see, he starts kind of like looking around. He goes, "That she always likes doing that. She thinks she gets a real kick out of it."
No.
You see, he's kind of like looking over his shoulder, like half expecting something to pop out.
No, I haven't seen Simone all day. She usually comes in the evenings anyway.
That very true, very true. No, it was just the normal tavern. Why? And he puts a massive hand on your forehead, and he goes, "Are you seeing things, Celty? You don't have a fever."
No, I think I just had some bad mutton.
All right. Well, I mean, if you need to go home, you have a 2-hour walk, so you could stay here. I can't walk you home, but you shouldn't keep working if you're.
Are you
if you're
coming
sick.
on to me?
I would. And you see, he kind of his gray skin kind of turns red on the cheeks, and he goes, "I would never. You were
There's not enough room in your closet for the both of us." And I just kind of like give him like a elbow nudge in the side. And it's like,
and he kind of lets out a little, like because that is not the first time you've made that joke.
right,
Yeah.
right. So no, I think I'm fine. It wasn't anything.
So Fellows is offered to hire you, but you guys kind of gotta show your moxie, show your stuff. So he's curious about
Which one we're gonna choose?
which one you're gonna choose, or if you're gonna do both of them, which one you guys are going to maybe try to attempt first.
Well, If I'm being quite honest, I have not been in town long, and I think you probably know this town better than I.
Might be a fair assumption. You say you're a scholar. You don't happen to be a scholar of ghosts, do you?
No.
Night beasts, by any chance?
Well, I've read a lot of books. I have recently come into a imbuement of some natural magic, and I am excited to learn how to use it.
Oh, you're a flower child. Oh. Gotcha. So Night Beast it is then.
Because you guys are doing the one of the attacks in town at night.
Have I heard anything, or do I, since I walk home at night,
Yeah.
and I'm not afraid at all of the night.
You've heard mentions. You've never actually witnessed anything, but you have heard people talk about it, and you just kind of think, streets seem fine to me.
I guess I usually clock out before, so I can walk
you
home
to
during
experience
the sunset.
the sunset. Yeah, and this all these happen after dark.
Yeah,
so
that's
you have heard of it, but you've never experienced it or felt unsafe yourself.
Is that like the wood? Because you said it's a different woods than.
Yeah, so
where
the one
I
that they're
live.
talking about is the one of the attacks going on
in town.
In town. The other one is people being chased out or spooked in the woods, and those woods are north of town.
And my woods are.
They would be
more like
I would say probably more west.
because east is the ocean, right?
Yeah, east is the ocean. I'd say your home is more west.
And the mountains are to the south, right? The silver slopes.
Yeah, silver
Okay.
slopes to the south.
Okay, gotcha. So like kind of west northwest.
Yeah. But these woods are more north, and not even that more of once you leave the boundaries of Port Mar, the Port Mara city walls. It's really like a 10-minute walk, and you're at these woods. They're really close. It's where kids used to go and play.
For the ghost woods or the
yes.
And my woods are 2 hours.
2 hours of walk.
Is that pretty close to Leet?
No.
Leet's how far is Leet?
Leet is a day by horse.
Okay, cool. So it's an in between. Okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah. So you're kind of off of the country road a little ways, and Port Mara is the closest civilization to where you are.
Right. With my specialty, my focus, from what people have talked about, does it sound like anything I know about?
Roll
Either the ghost or the. I feel like the ghost king of the woods would seem closer to what I'm.
Yeah, I get
my-
what you're getting at. Roll me a nature check.
16.
It's really hard. I mean, the reports of what's in there have been crazy vague.
Right.
You've even heard something of some kind of fire eating beast in the woods as well. So something about a ghost king plus something that eats fire. It doesn't really make any sense, and it doesn't really click with anything that you know of. Are you interested though of seeing if you know anything about these night attacks?
Yeah.
For that one, roll a 1 second. Let me just pull something up. Yeah, roll another nature check for that one.
15.
Okay, so for that one, as far as you know, it doesn't sound like any kind of nocturnal creature that you know of that would live in this area naturally. And you've kind of, in the few days that you've been hearing about this, you maybe have come to the assumption that you think whatever's going on is being controlled by something. This isn't happening naturally. Maybe someone's doing it. You're not even sure if it's really a monster. It might be a person who's kind of terrorizing the town, but you're not certain.
So which one of these challenges are you strapping young lads going to take care of?
Coke bottle eye just darts over to I think we're going with the night beasts. Why?
Just curious.
And for that one, remember, the person who posted that one was Simone Weathersby, and she's the mage in residence. You would actually probably know that she posted this, because you would have seen her come into it. Right. So Simone Weathersby is the mage in residence, which basically, since you are living in the settlement of the Southern Mysterium Trading Company, every settlement, every town, village, city in the Southern Mysterium Trading Company has something called a mage in residence. It is basically a wizard that is employed by the company to do magical research and support that community. So Simone is the mage in residence for Port Mara. She's an employee of the Southern Mysterium Trading Company, but she kind of acts altruistically. She doesn't really, unless it's a major task, she doesn't actually charge the citizens for her services because the company pays her a very generous salary to do this work. So that's kind of giving you the heads up on what a mage in residence is.
Knowing Simone,
She is a kind of a local celebrity. She's this young, beautiful elf woman who's been here for about 2 years now. She's a bit of a local celebrity. Everyone loves her. She's friendly, outgoing, kind. She even goes kind of beyond what prior mages in residence have done in terms of helping the people. She kind of goes above and beyond. So she really is popular among the local folk.
Cool.
she human, elf?
Elf.
Okay.
Elf with beautiful, long, almost midnight black hair.
Well, then you might as well just stick around and wait for Simone to come in. She usually comes in during the evenings, and you can ask her more about it. She is the one that posted the job, after all.
Fair enough. Do you mind making an introduction whenever she gets here?
Sure. Do you prefer Scaly Boy? Or do you have a name?
The name's Kane.
So you guys can sit and drink with fellows if you want. I'd say about an hour and a half later, you see the doors to the Chattering Parrot open, and this beautiful elven woman who actually, Varus, you think she's actually maybe only a few years older than you are. Young, beautiful elven woman, long black hair that she wears in this thick braid that she kind of has pulled over one shoulder. She's wearing very simple, pale blue robes, and she has a bit of a silver circlet around her head. But she kind of walks in. When she walks in, you hear people going, "Oh, Simone, good to see you." And she kind of very graciously goes to each of these people greeting her and speaks with them for a few moments before moving on. To you, this seems odd because you're not used to interacting with the common folk.
Yeah.
But you can tell by all rights to you, this is the first sliver of someone who might be nobility that you've seen. She finally comes up to you and to you, Salty, and Simone puts a hand on your shoulder, and she goes, "Salty, it's so good to see that you're working this evening. I missed you last time I was in."
Yeah, Orton was covering my shift. I had some personal matters to take care of.
Well, it's lovely to see you. Do you mind bringing me some of that Corwinish red wine that you have?
Absolutely. Just brought some casks up from the cellar this morning.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Would you like anything to eat with that?
Whatever Keth is cooking up tonight for everyone else, I'll just have some of that. Thank you.
See, with the red, it's going to be like a lamb chop or something
Yeah,
like that. I don't know.
lamb. Yeah, I mean, she's pretty much Kethin always has some kind of lamb or chicken going every night. She has both options. Occasionally there'll be some steak, but those are rare occasions when she's able to actually acquire a good quantity of that.
Gotcha.
What you guys see, and very clearly to the two of you, you didn't even have to hear her name, Varus and Kane. You guys are like, "That's Simone." But she walks, just kind of glides past your table, and she kind of takes a seat at a smaller table. It's really for one person nearby, and you see that she quickly just settles in. You bring her wine, and she starts sipping on it, and she's actually watching a game of dice that have taken up, and you see that she's actually she's very interested in watching the game, and she's kind of getting into the different bets and wagers that these men are making on the dice.
I'll let her enjoy a bit of her food and some
Absolutely.
wine, get a couple rounds of dice in, and then I'll just go up and... Simone, I don't mean to intrude or bother you. You seem like you're enjoying the entertainment.
Not at all, Salty. They play every night. I mean,
You think they'd learn.
I'm sure being interrupted for a few rounds is no trouble for me. I mean, I just enjoy watching how much pleasure they get in it, and I've been learning a little bit of the game. What can I do for you?
It's nothing important. We have some enthusiastic adventurers wanting to prove test their steel, and whatever this elven fellow does, I think he's a learned one that
another scholar. Oh my. And you can tell she actually didn't recognize that there was a dragonborn in here before. Salty, when did that dragonborn fellow arrive in town?
a little bit afternoon. Fellows wants to test them out before an expedition, so they thought...
Where is Fellows taking them this time?
I think over to the mountains.
You know what happened to the last
slopes.
expedition he led, right?
Well, I wasn't going to mention anything in front of them. They seemed so excited.
Those poor families.
I think these have a little more capability between the two.
Can you believe the man actually hired a band of thieves that just ran off with all of his finds?
Yeah. I mean, fellows, bless his heart.
While he was at it, they robbed 4 or 5 farms on the way out of town. I mean, the man has no sense. He has His judge of character is atrocious, I must say, Salty.
I myself have sized them up. The scaly one, he seems well-intentioned and maybe not the sharpest tool in his shed, but he does seem to have a good heart. And the elf boy, he does seem a little gullible, but also I don't think they're cutthroats by any means.
All right, well, let me go see if they're really interested. And you guys now see that Simone, after speaking to Salty, and they're quietly exchanged. I mean, they're probably about 20 feet away from you. So with all the other activities out in here, you guys wouldn't have heard. But she does walk over, and she does actually sit in the 4th available seat, which is the final seat of the table. And she crosses her hands on the table in front of her, and she goes, "Good evening, gentlemen. I understand that you're interested in the job I've posted." She kind of turns to the fellows and kind of gives them a nod of acknowledgement. "Professor, now, gentlemen, I understand you're interested in the job that I've posted. Are you all serious?"
Yes, I believe we are. Truthfully, I have been in town, but about 4 hours now.
My word, where did you come from?
Oh, I have just arrived from Engvon. I am just newly arrived.
Oh, well, I'm new myself from Angvon just, 2 years ago now.
Really?
Yes, I attended the Tower of Magic in Everpoint and Atron, and when I graduated, I got my posting here with the Southern Mysterium Trading Company, and, well, I was shipped off, as it were. But it's really a lovely city. You'll love it here. What brings you to Port Mara?
Well, truthfully, I'm less an adventurer, more a scholar. I come seeking knowledge in recognition that will require some adventures in this newly found continent, but I am here.
And you see she's kind of studying you intently while you speak, and she says, "There is something interesting about you, my friend. What is your name?"
My name is Varus Leodin.
"Varus, the name is Simone Weathersby. It's lovely to meet you."
It is my pleasure.
And you, my friend, what is your name?"
Sorry, I'm Canar's Hide Scale, milady.
"Well, it's lovely to meet you. What brings you here to Port Mara? It's very seldom we see Dragonborn this far north, out of Verzen."
Just here to, just finished up an expedition, stopping by, grabbing my next job posting, and then going on my way, seeing if I can help people out in the meantime. So your job posting seemed like the ideal candidate to give some relief to people.
"I thank you all for being willing to take it on. Would you care to come back to my tower and we can discuss the details and what I have in mind?"
Of course.
"Okay, please." And she kind of raises and she kind of looks at you, Salty, and she goes, "Whatever they owe, just put it on my tab and I'll pay for it." And she goes, "Please, gentlemen."
Professor's already got it, and I just start walking.